Okay, hey, are we on? Are we on? Is this thing working? I'm not so sure. I'm kind of an old guy, but I just wanted to make sure it's working. Is it working? Is
Think
it
it's working
son?
quite
Okay.
fine.
All right. Okay.
I think
Okay.
it might be working quite
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Well, I never know about these things. Okay. So, welcome. This is our first podcast. Okay. See,
Podcast.
I'm not really caught up on times. Our first podcast, and it's called Double F Podcast, right?
Podcast.
So I'm sure you're all just sitting there wondering what double F means. Well, to us, the letter F means a lot to us, right? Well, not to you, but to me. For in this purpose, family, friends, forecasting, foreshadowing, and of
And
course, number
fantasy
one,
football.
fantasy football. You got that right. So you put all those F's together, that equals another word that starts with FU. No,
STFU.
no, don't be going there. Okay. Fun. Okay. We want to have a little bit of fun. We would like to hear your comments along the ways. Obviously, we're recording this, but we will answer them next week when we broadcast again or podcast again.
Ask us any questions,
time
give
with
us tips, anything. Let us know.
That's right. And we're gonna possibly have a live streaming on Friday nights,
Yep.
right? What
Yep.
time you looking at? 6 o'clock?
5 p.m. PST.
5 p.m. We're in the Pacific time. So that means if you're Mountain, that would be 6, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. So
6, 7.
whatever. So I don't know. But anyway, my friend here, Levi, is gonna lead that live stream on Fridays, and I'll pop in from time to time. So kind of explain a little bit to you what the double F means to us. So that's why our podcast is called Double F Podcast. I want to start with a little bit of introductions here. My name is Bob. Okay, I'm the old man. Obviously, I don't know how anything works. Technology is all new to me. And I'll tell you a little bit about my history. I started watching football in 1971. Okay. Is that a long time ago for you?
Yeah.
That's like a century ago, right?
And you're a bandwagon, right?
No, I've never been a bandwagon, son. So in 1971, I fell in love with the Washington Redskins, Coach George Allen, and Over the Hill Gang, and I was crushed when they lost Super Bowl VII to the Dolphins. But I digress. Let's move forward. Okay, so I've been a Redskins / Commanders fan now for 54 years. You fast forward about 30 years, and I began my fantasy career. We're talking late 90s, 98, 99. So long ago that we used to have to buy a newspaper after the games, look at the stats, add the points up by hand to determine who won. So I've been doing the fantasy for around 25, 27 years, whatever you want to say. So a lot of experience on this end of the table. Been doing this forever. And when I go and pick fantasy, whether I put people in to play or I make predictions on games or when I'm drafting, I go on, I'm on top of the news. I stay on top of current player news, look at the stats, a little bit of analytical, but it really all comes down to the old gut. The old man uses the gut. Okay. So let me give you an example. If I got two players and maybe one's rated higher than the other one, I don't really care about that. I want the one that's going to feel good in the old gut. I'm going to swallow that player up and I'm going to enjoy it. So that's kind of a little bit about me. I want to just kind of start with a little introduction on my young gentleman friend next to me, Levi. Levi is a lot more analytical. He's a lot more on top of player news, and he is what I call the waiver wire wizard. Okay, triple W.
Always.
You know I brand you that. So
waiver wire king.
King. Well, I like wizard. Triple W, but whatever you can patent in whatever name you want to say. So
every year.
So last year, for example, you ended up with both Chase Brown and Bucky Irving
and
on his
both
team,
went
two
top
10 running backs by the end of the year. So this kid knows what he's doing. As a matter of fact, he may be young, but there's no other person, and I honestly mean this, that I value their opinion when it comes to football, fantasy, predictions, anything, than this young gentleman next to me. So So I want him to know that. I want you to know that, and that's all I really got. Do you have anything you want to add, Levi, about yourself? How do you pick? What kind of theory? I know I mentioned analytical, looking at players' news, but do you have any theory that when you look at your players, you have any?
I only have about 4 years under my belt, but I've been in the league for 3 years. And when I do pick a player, I'm gonna stick with my gut every single time. And when I pick a player, that's the player I'm going to go with.
Nice. So you're a young gut guy. Okay, I'm an old gut guy. So good to see that you're right
But
there.
I do like to look at the stats as well.
Very important to stay up on news, especially my biggest worry on a player is the word hamstring. Okay. I know I drafted Justin Jefferson a couple years ago. I think I had like the second pick. He was one of the top picks coming off a big year. And he dealt with that hammy about 6 weeks in the year towards the end. Now he came back towards the playoffs, but by then my team was wrecked and I didn't make the playoffs, and it really hurt me. So that hamstring, I really look for those injuries like hamstring, groin, that type of thing, because they seem to linger and take your players out for several weeks at a time. They'll tell you it's going to be a week or two, and next thing you know, 4 weeks down the road, and he's still riding the pine. So, okay, well, let's get back. Let's get started in our first segment, okay? Um, what we're going to talk about first is fantasy, okay? So, how we'd like to break this down is we're going to go by position, okay? So, looking at our last year in our league, now we're in a half point PPR, so everybody's got a different type of league, that type of thing. Um, but ours is a half point PPR. So when the season ended up last year, looking at quarterbacks, so we're going to start with quarterbacks. The top 10 scorers were Lamar Jackson was number one, Burrow was second, Mayfield, surprisingly, kind of shocked me, was three. Josh Allen was four.
The
Jared
GOAT.
Goff was fifth. Jane Daniels was sixth. Darnold came in at seventh. Bo Nix was eighth. And Jalen Hurts was ninth. And Kyler Murray wrapped up the top 10. And the one that just came out just below, I call it the bubble boy. And number 11th was Mahomes. So
Kyler
kind of.
Murray kind of shocks me down there. I didn't expect him to be up there.
Yeah, and it kind of surprising that Mahomes dropped out of the top 10. I know 2-3 years ago, Mahomes some people were taking him number one in the league.
Mayfield
You
had
know,
16 interceptions.
yeah. So when I look at the league leaders last year, Burrow led in yards. He had 4,918 yards, and he also led in TDs. He had 43 TDs. However, he didn't really rush a lot. He only had about 200 yards rushing, 2 TDs. Lamar Jackson he was leading in rushing yards, of course, and he added 4 TDs, but he went 41 touchdowns passing to 4 interceptions. I mean, that's a 10-to-1 ratio. The guy can throw. I mean, I know a lot of people said early on that he's a running quarterback. We had a lot of running quarterbacks in the past that just maybe weren't the best pure passers, but he's got it all, and very impressive.
Super
May,
Bowl's coming soon.
no kidding. And Mayfield, he had 41 touchdowns. He was a little high in interceptions. He led in the top 10 anyway. He had the most interceptions at 16. But I mean, another 4,500 yards, second in yards, third in yards, I believe, and 41 touchdowns. Great year for Mayfield as well. So I'm looking at the rookies. You had
Jaden
Dayton
Daniels
Daniels
and
and
Bo
Nix.
Nix. I like Bo Nix as
Yeah, they
well.
both ended up in the top 10, which is very, very good. And of course, Daniels, he gave Lamar Jackson a run for the rushing title. He had 891 as far as for quarterbacks, and he added another 6 touchdowns. And
He
Hurts
was
makes the
injured
list
too.
at ninth, right? I mean, the guy Hurts had 18 touchdowns last year, not even 3,000 yards passing. So you know where he made up his points, right? The
Tush
old
push.
tush push. That's
Tusher.
right. He added 14 touchdowns. So he led all quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns. So you want to add anything else to the top 10? Kind of a couple surprises there. Mayfield,
Murray.
Murray a little bit on the
Bo
bottom
Nix.
end, and then a couple rookies.
I
Um,
think Jaden. I like Bo Nix as well.
You do this year, huh? So I'm
Uh,
not as big on him this year. I think Denver's going to have a little bit of a drop off, but
I
people are really
disagree.
big on them.
Disagree there.
Well, there you go. So you might have to edit this out because I don't value your opinion. Just kidding. All right, let's move on to. I then looked at all the consensus. Okay, so there's a site I found that had 106 experts. Okay, so-called experts, like we're all experts, right? And basically, it added all their rankings and put down what they feel is the top 10 for this year. Now, believe me, you only need these two experts right here. Okay, we're going to tell you what you need to do.
They
We're
didn't
going to
even
give you
do this part
advice.
because I don't give a damn about experts.
You don't care either. Well, I think as much as some of these guys are, we could count ourselves as experts as well. So, so listen to these two experts because we're going to give you our top 10 after we give the consensus top 10. So this is everybody, the experts top 10 for quarterbacks for this year in a half point per reception league. Okay. So they have them kind of in tiers. Tier one, they have Allen, number one, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, two, Jaden Daniels, three, and four, they got Jalen Hurts.
I disagree with Jalen Hurts there.
It's a little
I
high
think
for
he'll
me.
be in tier 2 this year. I do think Joe Burrow will be better.
You think so?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I don't. I think his numbers are going to be similar to last year. I don't think he'll have a ton of yards. They'll run the ball a lot with Barkley. And they have a great offensive line, one of the best in the league. So then we go with Burrow at 5 is what the consensus is. Mahomes 6,
Mm.
Mayfield 7, Bo Nix 8, and then Kyler Murray 9th, and Dak Prescott
I
10th.
like Dak
So
more than Kyler. They're going to
you
be
do.
slinging that thing.
Yeah, I think they're gonna, now that Micah Parsons is no longer a Cowboy, their defense obviously has another hole in it. I think they're gonna have to score a lot, and they do have weapons on offense. They added, what is it,
George Pickens, CeeDee
Pickens or
Lamb.
Pickett? I get Pickens and Pickett's mixed
It's
up.
Pickens. Pickett
Pickens,
is quite
thank you. See,
trash.
that's why I bring you. So, then the one that just is outside the top 10 as far as the consensus was Brock Purdy.
I would put Dak up one, put Purdy up one, and drop Kyler out of there.
Really? Well, let's go over what you would do. Okay, you got your top 10. I got my top 10. Okay, these are our predictions. This is from the experts, the so-called experts, right here,
The
sitting
real
right in front of you,
ones.
live on the Double F podcast. Okay, not live, but taped. Kind of live for us.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
exciting.
yeah.
Okay, so you want to start with 10 and go to 1, or you want
Do
to?
you want to go back and forth? What do you
Yeah,
want
let's
to
go
do?
back and forth, and then we'll start with 10 to 1. Or you want let's do 10 through 6, and you do your 10 through 6.
All
Okay,
right.
the bottom half of the top 10. Okay, so first of all, at 10, I got Justin Herbert. Okay, um, I like the guy. I mean, he's got everything you need. Big kid, big arm. I just feel like he's going to put some points up this year as long as he stays healthy. I got Mahomes getting back into the top 10 at 9. And then I got Prescott a little higher than what they had in the consensus at 8. Then I got Mayfield at 7. And then 6, I got Jalen Hurts. What's your 10 through 6?
At number 10, I have Jared Goff. I know that might seem quite low, but I feel like he does have a drop off year this year. At 9, I have Bo Nix, around where he was last year. At 8, I do have Purdy. I think he definitely has a good year this year. At 7, I do have Jalen Hurts, and this is going to be my hot take of the week. I have at number 6, I have Herbert.
Oh, you do like Herbert too.
I like Herbert at 6.
Is it Herbert or Herbert?
Herbert.
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 Okay, just like, because there used to be a quarterback back in the day named Bobby, spelled Herbert, but it was a bear. I kind of like that better.
Herbert.
Yeah, so maybe we should call him Justin Bear. Okay, so now let's go into the top 5 that I have. Now I have Goff higher. I have him at 5. I feel like he just has so many weapons. I mean, he's got Amon, he's got he
Laporta.
can throw a little
Jameson
pass
Williams.
to Jameer Gibbs, and that looks like he threw an 80-yard
Montgomery.
touchdown. Montgomery,
Jameson Williams,
Jameson
Laporta.
Williams. So I really believe that and then Laporta, of course. So I believe that he's going to be in the top 5. Number 4, I got Jaden Daniels. I know a lot of people are really pushing him up in 2 and 3. I think he will progress up the list. I think he was at 6 last year in our league. I feel like he's going to move up to 4. I got Josh Allen at 3. Okay, and the only reason I probably have him a little lower, he does get a lot of yards. He does get some touchdowns on his using his legs,
Interceptions.
but I feel like he doesn't quite have the weapons that some of these other ones do. So, and then 2, I have Burrow because he does have all the weapons. That guy
and
is
they
loaded,
don't have no
okay?
defense.
Right down to Chase Brown. I mean, he's got guys that can break it up just a short pass. And then number 1, I don't know why. I mean, when you looked at our league last year, Lamar Jackson had 523 points in our league. He was about 50 points ahead of anyone else. I don't know how you can't have Lamar Jackson number 1. So that's who I got in my top 5. What about you?
At number 5, I do have Baker. Still think he stays in the top 5 this year. At number 4, as well as you, I have Jaden Daniels. At number 3, I do have Josh Allen, 2 Burrow, and 1 Lamar. So same top
goodness.
4.
Now we did not. That's crazy, huh? We have the top 5 basically the same almost. At least the top 4 were exactly the same. So we did not do these together. But I do like your thoughts there because it agrees with me. So I did write down a couple sleepers as far as quarterbacks, and I kind of look at the ones that are ranked anywhere from 15 to lower, and I figure any of these could possibly end up in the top 10, maybe just on the outside. And one of them is C.J. Stroud. Okay, so 2 years ago, Nico was healthy. He was crazy good.
Nico was the best receiver last year before he got hurt.
I know he is a beast, and I feel like with him back, Stroud will be back to himself like a couple years ago. So I have him, and I would not be surprised if he didn't end up in the top 10. Another one is Jordan Love. I think with this adding of Golden, he's got a deep threat, fast, a speed guy, and I just think the Packers are solid up and down. And then don't count this guy out. I know he's battling in injuries and stuff, but Stafford. I mean, he's still Matthew Stafford. He still has now he has Devontae Adams. I feel like he could still make some points out there. So, do you have any sleepers in the quarterback? Who do you think?
I just have Purdy, but I have him in my top 10. I think Purdy will have a good year.
I think I don't know. I mean, he doesn't really have. He's got what Ayuk is going to be out for what 6 weeks or so.
Yep.
And then the other guy, Juwan Jennings, it seems like he's kind of embroiled in some kind of contract, wants more money.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? But his receiver, the second year, Pearsall. I believe him. He's going to he's going to look real well early on at least. So. Okay, so let's move on to receivers. I'm going to go through the consensus, and then, why don't you go over what our top scorers were last year in our league, half-point PPR once again. And this is the wide receiver position.
And number 10 is my guy, JSN, 209 points, 1,100 yards. I don't know if he makes the top 10 this year. I think a lot of that was due to DK Metcalf, and I'm a Seahawks fan, but I think DK Metcalf led the world for him. Garrett Wilson with 211, 1,100 yards as well. And then CeeDee Lamb, 219, which I took him with the first pick. And then you have Malik Nabers, 225. I think he's going to be one of the best receivers this year. At number 6, we have Drake London. 236 points. At number 5, we have Terry McLaurin, best year. At number 4, you have Brian Thomas Jr., also known as BTJ, with 248 points. Now we're in our top 3. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown with 269 points, 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. Great year from him. Justin Jefferson with 275 points, 1,500 yards, and 10 touchdowns. And Who do you think is number one? Jamar Chase with 350 points,
Yeah. So how many points? He had 75 more points than Justin Jefferson, who's no
1,700
slouch,
yards,
right?
and 17 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was a triple crown winner. He led the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. Incredible year that for Jamar Chase. So kind of any surprises on that top 10 list that you?
I would say Drake London.
I was surprised that he was that high at number 5.
6.
And who else you had on there?
McLaurin, Drake London.
And McLaurin had a great year. He was number 6, right?
5.
5. Okay, so
that guy is fast for his age.
he is. No one realizes how fast he is, and I am. I know I'm a Commander fan. I'm a little bit of a homer, but I do like Terry, and I love the way he plays football without the big ego and
He's
that type of thing.
yeah,
too.
he's really
He's
smooth.
a team player, so
he's quite smooth.
yes. Okay, so let me go over the consensus again. All these experts thrown together, and I want to tell you, out of the 106 experts, I invited them all on the show today, and you can see none of them showed up. My dog showed up. I got a dog between us, and that's it. But again, you only need these 2 experts, and we're going to tell you what to do. So, the consensus top 10, number 1 this year. Can you guess? For wide
Justin
receivers?
Jefferson, Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown. No, Jamar Chase.
How about Jamar Chase? Okay, they got C.D. Lamb at number 2, Jefferson at 3, Malik Neighbors 4, Nico Collins 5, Amon St. Brown 6, Nakua 7, Brian Thomas Jr. 8, London drops down to 9th, and A.J. Brown is in 10th. And the one that just ended up outside the top 10 is Ladd McConkey, who I'm big on him. I think that he's gonna have a big year. I like the way he played. He kind of reminds me of an Edelman or just good slot, fast receiver. I expect him to get a lot of targets. So, anything that surprises you on their top 10 there?
Jefferson. I don't like him that high.
You don't like Jefferson at 2? So I'm kind of surprised at Nakua. I think Nakua is going to drop off. I know we talked a little bit about Stafford, and the injury.
I think he has a good year, but he's going to drop off a little bit.
Yeah, I think with Devontae Adams there now, he's going to take away some touchdowns from him. I don't have him in my top 10. I'll tell you that right now. So let's start with those top 10 receivers. What do you got this time? You go first. Who's your 10 through 6 this is Levi's predictions this year. So
coming in at my number 10, I have Tyreek Hill. He was projected to be a 4th rounder this year, 3rd, 4th, but he was taken in our 2nd round. Number 9, I have Terry McLaurin. Great year, but I do think he does fall a little bit. He's going to start a little slower due to the contract issues. Number 8, I have Nico Collins.
All right. So why don't we start with that segment over? I didn't know. Okay, let's start. Okay, so I'll introduce the top 10 again, okay? All right, now let's look at our top 10 wide receivers that we predict. You want to go first? You take 6 through 10, and then I'll go. These are our predictions for this year.
Coming in at my number 10, I have Tyreek Hill. Projected 3rd to 4th round, but was taken in our 2nd round, early pick. At number 9, I do have Terry McLaurin. I think he falls 4 spots. At number 8, I do have Nico. I know he's projected to be really high, but I just have a few more guys that I like better than him this year. All right, here's a hot take. At number 7, I have Justin Jefferson. I don't know about J.J. McCarthy. Who knows about him? We don't know. And number 6, I have Ladd McConkey.
Oh, that's a hot take. I mean, he's projected 11th with the consensus. So
I think he does beat out Jefferson this year. I don't know about J.J. McCarthy. Kevin O'Connell is the best guy with quarterbacks, though, I will say.
Okay, well, now it looks like I copied your paper like we were, taking a test in school or something, because at least at number 10, because I have Tyreek Hill at 10. So So I remember again the old man. 3 years ago? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he was number one, talked about being the number one pick overall. You know,
Yep.
the guy's still fast. The only thing that worries me about him is tends to have a little bit of problems, whether in the locker
Yep.
room, out off the field and stuff.
Yeah.
But if he keeps his head in the game, and Tua can still sling it as long as he stays healthy.
Very injury prone though.
That's true.
I'm shocked they didn't go look at a backup quarterback, like a solid one.
Yeah, yeah. I think that this will be make it or break it year for Tua.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't proceed or at least get to the playoffs, I think Tua's time in Miami is getting smaller or winding down. So number 9, I have Lad McConkey. I do have him hitting the top 10, a little higher than what the experts say, a little lower than what you're saying. 8, I got McLaurin. He drops a little bit, but I think he'll have a very good year. Ahmad St. Brown, I
That
got at
is
7,
low.
and I got Malik Neighbors at 6. So that's my top, or 10 through 6. All right, why don't you give me your 5, your top 5?
5 through 1. At number 5, I have Brian Thomas Jr. I love this guy. I think he was literally the best rookie receiver last year. Um, there was Lad McConkey, but I think Brian Thomas had a blowout year, and he copies it this year. Number 4, I have Amon Ra. Literally, Goff and him have this connection. I don't know how long he's been in the league. Do you know?
Ahmad, probably about 5 years. I would think this is about his 5th
And
year,
he's
6th
he's
year.
a solid receiver. He has good celebrations. He's also a receiver that isn't cocky. At number 3, I do have Malik Neighbors. With his quarterback situation getting a little better, he will climb up the list. At number 2, I have CeeDee Lamb. Dak Prescott is going to be throwing a lot this year, and having George Pickens will open the gate for CeeDee Lamb. And at number 1, I do have Jamar Chase.
Okay, that's really anticlimactic. Because I can tell you right away, I hate to spoil the surprise. I got Chase at number 1 as well, so no big surprise there. Number 5, I have Brian Thomas Jr. All the reasons you said. I think he was the best of the rookies last year. Um, Malik Neighbors was the second close. That's why I got Malik Neighbors 6 and Brian Thomas
Oh yeah,
Jr.
I
at
forgot about
5.
him.
And then CeeDee Lamb, I have at 4.
That's
I know
fair.
you're big on him, a little higher, but I feel like that's a good spot for him. Now, I don't know if you want to call this my hot take or not, but I got Nico Collins at 3.
I think he's a
Um,
little lower.
the guy is a beast. If he stays healthy and Stroud is healthy, I believe that he could even end up in number 2. Number 2, I have Jefferson because
Mm,
he's been 1-2 every year. Besides the year he ended up missing some games, he's been 1-2 every year, and a couple years number 1. I don't see that changing. And then of course number 1, Jamar Chase.
mm-hmm.
A few sleepers I have out there. I believe Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a good year. I think he's got all the tools. He's been actually, I read where he's been working out, add a little bit of muscle, a little bit more weight to him.
The
I
only
believe
thing
that.
that scares me there is Mr. Kyler Murray.
Well, that can be worrisome, but I think he had what last year. I think he had
He had
close to
like 800 yards and 8
900 yards.
touchdowns.
He's a rookie. You're not going to come out and
He
have
is a stud
1,500
though.
yards or whatever. So I believe he's going to build on that. Another sleeper I have Ridley. He's when he's healthy, he's
If
good.
Cam Ward pans out, he will be a very good wide receiver 1 for a fantasy team.
I believe so. And that's, again, the question mark on the quarterback. But there are so many question marks on quarterbacks out there. I mean, you got to pull the trigger on some of these receivers. And then I like that McMillan. I like the
Mm-hmm.
rookie from Carolina. I mean, the guy makes some incredible catches.
The Honolulu Hawaiian.
He's I like him to be a sleeper. Now, any of these players, I believe, can end up in the
I
top
think
10 or close to it.
I like McMillan because who is Bryce Young going to throw to? They just lost Adam Thielen.
Mm-hmm.
I like McMillan.
Yeah, and the consensus they had Harrison at 19, Ridley at 27, McMillan at 22. I have one long shot. I like Pearsall. The reason I like him is Purdy's
First
got
6
really nowhere
weeks,
to go. Debo's gone. Ayuk's out.
Jennings is
Dwan,
struggling.
Dwan is it John or Dwan?
Juan
Juan.
Jennings. I don't know.
Juwan Jennings still,
Contract
not
struggles.
happy, contract, that type of thing.
It's basically that team is a 3-man team for the offense.
Yeah,
Pearsall,
CMC is probably going to get a
McCaffrey,
ton of.
and Purdy.
Yeah, CMC is going to get a ton of action too. So, but I do like Pearsall, and I believe even when Ayuk comes back, I think he'll get that
I think they'll
rhythm with
be
Purdy.
split
They'll have
good.
a little bit of connection, and I think
But
he'll
I
have a
do
good
think
year.
Ayuk will shift and still be the wide receiver one there because he is a stud.
All right. Well, yeah, he is. If he stays healthy, and again, he's one of those ones he's got to keep his head in the game too. So okay. Any other things? Any thoughts on the wide receivers?
Nope.
Okay,
Let's go,
so
Jamar Chase.
All right. So, isn't this great? I love football. All right. So now we're going to move on. We got the quarterback down. We got the receivers down. Now we're moving on to running backs, and I'm going to start just like we always have been. I'm going to start with our leading scorers in our league last year. Again, I know I said it a few times, and I won't say it again, but a 0.5 point per reception league. All right. Number 1 was Barkley. Imagine that. But
you're going to go from the 1?
Yeah, I'm going right down like I did on the other one. So,
All right.
So I'm going number 1. I like starting at the beginning. Barkley, no surprise there, but kind of surprising. He had 361, almost 362 points, and number 2 was at 348, basically. So didn't really blow everyone out, but he did lead the league in rushing yards.
But you got to remember, he skipped 2 games at the end of the season.
That's true. He ended up with 2,005 yards. He probably could have got that overall record if he would have played those
What's the record again?
I don't remember, 2,100 and something. Good
He
question.
is a breakout stud.
Yeah, so he added 13 rushing touchdowns. He had about 278 yards on 33 receptions and 2 receiving touchdowns.
I'm praying he doesn't get hurt this year.
Yeah, he's crazy good. I mean, that play, is that the picture on Madden this year when he's jumping backwards?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I did that just once, and I wasn't able to walk for a week. Okay. So number 2 is Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay. He was at 347. Again, I said 348 yards. He led the league in rushing touchdowns. He tied actually with Derrick Henry at 16. He has more action in the receiving. He had 577 with 52 receptions, 577 yards, and 4 more touchdowns.
This kid
so altogether, he led the league in touchdowns with 20. And he had about 1,400 rushing yards. So very good.
He's going to be a stud for the next 5 years. And once David Montgomery's gone, he's going to be probably the best running back in this league.
Well, and I think he's going nowhere. But as far as his numbers are going to get better because
once they shift David Montgomery out, he's going to stay this top 2 for sure.
He's going to get a lot of use. He's going to get a little more use.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Even as much. Although the guy is incredible. Derrick Henry was at number 3, 346 points, so he was real close to Gibbs. He had almost 2,000 yards rushing. He was at 1921.
He may not have the speed, but he still breaks out.
He is crazy. He's one of those guys and here we go, old school again. Walter Payton, and Jerry Rice was the same. They're just workout fanatics. They stay in top shape. And that's why Henry is still able to do it at 31, 32. Running backs really kind of start hitting the wall at the age 30, but you don't see any drop off.
He's been the most consistent running back for the past 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's so consistent. His team may not have been good. Titans had a good year. They went to the playoffs, but he's always stuck there. And now he's on the Ravens, and he's even better.
Who?
Henry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. So
kind of like Saquon.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about his backup or what have you. So Henry had 16 rushing touchdowns. 19 receptions, 200 yards receiving, and another couple touchdowns receiving. So 18 touchdowns, right up there in the top 2 or 3 in the league as far as running backs. Number 4 was Bijan Robinson. Everybody's big on him this year. He had 321 points, and I know in the back half of last year he was
the best.
Right up there. He was the best running back. 1,456 yards, 14 touchdowns.
I like his juke moves. He's got good jukes.
Who?
Bijan. He's got some good jukes.
Yeah. See, I'm old. I can't hear. I'm like, who? like I'm an owl here. And he added 61 receptions. Bijan 431 yards in the receiving and 1 touchdown through the air. So he's a target. I mean, 61 receptions. He's number 2 in running backs. So he gets a lot of action with the passing game as well. So number 5 was Josh Jacobs.
Not a fan of him in general.
Yeah. Surprising. Now, Bijan was at 321 points. Jacob, this is kind of a drop, about 40 points lower, 284. So there's kind of a drop off there. He had 1,329 rushing yards, 15 rushing touchdowns, and 36 receptions, 342 yards with 1 more touchdown. So
a couple of years ago when the Seahawks played the Raiders, probably the best game of that week, Josh Jacobs was still on the Raiders, and it was overtime, and he broke a run and won that game. I do not like Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, you forgot to mention you're a Seahawks fan, so anything against the Seahawks you don't like, I get it. Number 6 was Kyron Williams. This one shocked me. I didn't think he had that big of a year. He was at 266, 1,299 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns, another 182 in the air, 2 receiving touchdowns, 34 receptions. Devon Achane or Devon Achane?
Devon Achane.
Yeah, Devon Achane. He 264 yards or 264 points. He only had 907 yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, but of course he led the league in receptions, 78 yards, and receiving yards, 592 yards, with 6 more touchdowns. So he makes up a lot of it in that passing game. Number 8, and this was kind of a pleasant surprise for me because I had him on my team, James Cook for the Bills, 258 points. He had just over 1,000 yards, 1,009, 16 rushing touchdowns, then about 32 receptions, 258 yards, and another couple touchdowns. And this guy I'm glad to see back in the top 10, Jonathan Taylor. Now, he was, 3 years ago, consensus number 1 pick, coming off a big year.
4 years ago, big year. I drafted him that year.
He got hurt. And that's the way it goes. You got to love that. That's why we like to say that other FU word after we play fantasy football. Jonathan Taylor was 9, 252 points, 1,431 yards, very, very good yardage total, 11 touchdowns. And then he didn't have a lot in the passing, 18 receptions, 136 yards, and another touchdown. So I know he can do a lot more in the receiving game. He's very versatile. And then number 10 was James Conner. He had 243 points.
Solid back.
I like to call him the forgotten man. Nobody really talks about James Conner, but he's always solid. As long as he's healthy, he'll get his points, get his production. He had just over 1,094 yards, 8 rushing touchdowns. And he does well in the receiving game too. 47 receptions, 414 yards.
Super solid running back.
Yeah.
Also another one that's consistent.
And he added 1 touchdown in receiving. So the Bubble Boy, the one that was number 11th as far as last year in our league, was
Kamara.
So I think he's solid, but I just think
getting up there.
Yeah, I think he's going to continue.
He is that one man offense though.
That he has that going for him, and he has that against him. He has it going for him that he gets a lot of touches. He's like you said, probably their best player. Maybe Olave.
Olave just gets hurt way too much.
Yeah, he has. But then it works against him because they are the Saints. Okay, they're not at this point really contenders. All right, so let's go through the consensus again. All the experts, when you roll it all up, they've got Bijan number 1, like we had talked about it. Bijan Robinson number 2, Jahmyr Gibbs, and they got Barkley dropping to 3. Then McCaffrey 4, Derrick Henry 5, the rookie Jonte from the Raiders number 6, Devon Achane 7,
JT number 8,
Jonathan Taylor, number 9 is Josh Jacobs, and number 10 Chase Brown.
Chase Brown,
Mr.
Chris Brown in the building.
That's right. And then the Bubble Boy, just outside the top 10 was Bucky Irving. So
now, why don't you start with your top 10 here?
Am I going first? Okay, Here we go. Running backs. How exciting is this? All right. So my number 10, I have a rookie. I have Omarion
Number 1? Oh, I thought you said
Hampton.
10. I
Okay,
was like,
I
holy
got
hell.
Hampton for the Chargers. Now that DK Dobbins is now a Bronco, right? I believe he's gonna he's a beast. He's
I
gonna do
love
well.
Hampton this year. He's a sleeper for me.
I've got Bucky Irving in the number 9.
Love him.
Number 8, I got Chase Brown. Number 7, I got Kenneth Walker III. And number 6, I have Jonathan Taylor.
Can we explain that Kenneth Walker pick?
Kenneth Walker, when he's healthy, is one of the best running backs I believe out there. He's got speed, he's got strength, and I believe that the Seahawks are going to really go back to the basics. You know, they got a defensive coach, right?
They got the Saints, Clint Kubiak, which loves running the ball with Kamara.
Yes, and they have a defensive coach, and if he's smart, he's going to realize he can't have Darnold slinging it around, 35, 40 times a game and expect to win. So I think they got to have a solid running game, and I believe he's going to have a great year. And again, like 6, I have Jonathan Taylor. So
coming in at my number 10, I have Kenneth Walker. At my number 9, I have Christian McCaffrey. I would have McCaffrey higher because I do think he is top 3 in skill level, but his injuries do scare me, and I don't want to tank my list because if he does get injured, it will not be good. At number 8, I have Kyren Williams. Solid back, constantly getting touches. Might have a better year, especially with what's going on with Stafford. At 7, I do have Josh Jacobs. They like to run the ball in Green Bay. And at number 6, I have Chase Brown.
Chase Brown up at number 6. Okay. All right, let's move on. I'm going to do my top 5. Number 5, I have Derrick Henry. Still Derrick Henry. I know he's getting up there. He's turned the corner, over 30, a running back, but he's got a workout regimen like nobody else. And I believe he'll still be very effective with the Ravens. Number 4, I got Jahmyr Gibbs. He drops a little bit. Last year in our league, he was number 2.
Jahmyr Gibbs?
Jahmyr Gibbs. Jamar. Well, whatever.
Jamar crossing your mind?
Jahmyr Gibbs. I apologize, Mr. Gibbs. Number 3, I have CMC. I have McCaffrey. I believe he's gonna be their total offense for the first 4 or 5 weeks, with a little sprinkle and little Pearsall, my sleeper. But I have him at number 3. Number 2, I got Bijan Robinson. I believe he'll be in the top 3, possibly number 1, but I got him at number 2. And I am not moving Barkley. He's just a freak of nature. Barkley's my number 1 running back for this year. What are your top 5?
At number 5, I have Bucky Irving. I think this kid has massive skill. At number 4, I have Derrick Henry. He's going to have another good year. At number 3, I have Gibbs. At number 2, I have Bijan, and I am not moving Barkley as well because I have him at the 1.
Yeah, that's almost like Ja'Marr Chase. I'm not moving until someone can take over number 1. I'm not going to touch that. So, okay. So, any sleepers that you have?
I had Omarion Hampton as a sleeper for running backs.
Okay. I believe he's going to. I got him in my top 10, but that's a good pick. I have Trayvon Henderson, the rookie for the Patriots. Again, defensive coach of Vrabel, going to run the ball. I like him there. He's actually ranked 18th by the experts this year. I have Pacheco. I know you don't like this pick, but I like Pacheco. The Chiefs are going to have to score somehow, and he's an angry little runner, that guy.
Yeah, he's a handsome fella.
Oh, we got a dog barking. I guess he likes Pacheco too. So, and he's ranked actually at 25. And I do have a long shot in there. Okay, kind of a homer here. We're down here in Arizona, believe it or not. My long shot is Scattaboo. Although he is a little banged up right now, he literally carried that team on their back to win that quarterfinal last year. I believe that he can be an effective back in the league for the Giants.
I'm shocked that on your sleepers, I guess I'll put him on mine. You don't have Krosky Merritt.
Oh, I know, my homer there. So Krosky Merritt for the Commanders. All right, so that's our running backs. Now we've gone through those 3. Let's move on to the tight ends. You can start with.
I'll 10 tight ends last year.
Yep. top tight ends last year. Go ahead. In
At
our
number
league.
10, can anyone guess this one? We have Pat Fryermuth with 137 points. He had 65 catches for 653 yards, 7 touchdowns. A lot of tight ends only have like 7 to 8 touchdowns. Tucker Kraft, 139 points, 50 catches for 707 yards, and 7 touchdowns as well. At number 8, we got the old man, Zach Ertz, with 144 points, 66 receptions, and 654 yards, as well as 7 touchdowns. At number 7, we have Sam Laporta, 146 points, 60 receptions, 726 yards, with 7 touchdowns. At number 6, we got Miss Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, 149 points, 97 receptions, 823 yards, as well as 3 touchdowns.
That's a ton of receptions, almost 100 receptions.
And he only had 3 touchdowns. At number 5, we have Mark Andrews with 161 points last year, 55 receptions, 673 yards, and 11 touchdowns. All right, number 4 will definitely put your socks on. Number 4, we have Jonnu Smith. He played on the Dolphins last year with 183 points, 88 receptions, 884 yards, and 8 touchdowns. That's a lot of 8s.
He's got a lot of. He's at crazy 8s. That one I didn't. I looked at those two before our podcast, and I was shocked. Johnny Smith, and no one's got him in the top 10 as far as the experts this year. I believe he'll drop off. Who did he QZ with this year?
He's on Pittsburgh now.
Pittsburgh, I think he will drop off a little bit this year, but that was shocking. He was number 4 overall last year.
At number 3, I have Trey McBride with exactly 200 points, 111 catches with 1,146 yards, and only 2 touchdowns. Only 2 touchdowns for the man, but he was still a top 3 scorer. At number 2, we have George Kittle, 205 points, 78 receptions, 1,106 yards, and 8 touchdowns. And at number 1, the rookie Brock Bowers, 210 points, 112 catches for 2,000 yards and 5 touchdowns.
No, he didn't have 2,000 yards.
Or 1,200 yards.
Yeah, so yeah, and I Bowers had a heck of a year for
1,200 yards. My bad.
A lot of times these guys are hyped coming out. Oh, he's a sure hit. They were saying that about him, and they were not wrong at all. So
yeah, I think they have a guy like him in this draft class as well. I think Tyler Warren might be that guy.
I agree with you. I like him as well. So let's look at the consensus again. All the experts put together. Their top 10 is number 1. They got Bowers. Number 2, they got McBride. Kittle, they have 3.
Those 3 are always top 3
they're
interchangeable.
Kind of in the tier of their own.
Yeah, they're interchangeable. Like they're all just switched around for everyone.
Yes, and when you're drafting your team, if you don't get one of those top 3,
you should just wait on the tight end.
Yeah, wait. The next ones you're gonna, there's still Ingram down there. There's Njoku. There's a lot of good tight ends that they're never going to get to the numbers of the top.
But they're solid. They'll
solid.
produce.
Exactly. So, so now we move on to 4, Laporta. Number 5 was T.J. Hawkinson.
No, 5 is Evan Ingram.
No, these are the projections, the consensus. Laporta is number 4. These are projected by the experts. Hawkinson's number 5. Kelce they have at 6. They got Mark Andrews at 7. Njoku at 8. Ingram at 9. And the rookie Tyler Warren. Is it Tyler? Tyler Warren at 10. And then at 11, just outside the top 10, they had Tucker Kraft. That's by the consensus. So go ahead and
start with your top 10?
No, we'll start with yours this time. So you go 10 through 6, the bottom half of your top 10.
I think we only did 5 for tight ends. Yeah, I only did 5.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll do our top 5. Okay, so who do you got? Your top
At my
5?
number 5, I have Mark Andrews. I think he will retire after this year. I think that's my prediction. And because they have he retires or the Ravens get rid of him, because they do have Isaiah Likely, but I still think Lamar goes to Mark Andrews a lot this year. At number 4, I have Laporta. They are stacked on offense. The only problem with that is that they have multiple other options, but I still think he produces. At number 3, I do have Kittle. First 6 weeks, he's going to be a stud. He's going to probably have the most out of all tight ends. But I think later on, Brandon Ayuk will shift the offense. Number 2, I have McBride. I think Kyler Murray gets him more touchdowns this year, and he produces better. At number 1, I'm gonna stay on the hype train with Brock Bowers.
Okay. All right. My number 5, I've got Ingram.
Why? I wasn't even looking at him.
You weren't even looking at him?
No,
I don't know. That's the old gut. I just feel like Ingram's going to have a good
that's
year.
a hot take.
Yeah, he plays for Jacksonville, right?
I don't know about that strange.
Oh, no,
though.
he's not with Denver. Ingram?
Yeah, he's with Denver.
Okay. I feel like he's going to have a big year. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Just the old gut thing, okay? Number 4, I got Laporta, same as you. Number 3, I have Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I have Bowers. Okay, I believe that, and I have McBride number 1. Okay, I wrote him down wrong, but the reason I have McBride number 1, 2 touchdowns. Okay, he only ended up about 10 points behind Bowers. 5 points behind Bowers. Okay, so 1 more touchdown. If he would have had 3 touchdowns last year, he would have been the top scorer. So I believe he's going to get his. I did do the 10. I don't have Mark Andrews in the top 10. And the reason I don't have him in there is the opposite reason. I believe, like you said, he's getting old. He might be retiring and he's slowing down, but he had 11 touchdowns. A lot of his points were touchdowns. I just don't see that happening again. I believe he'll have a lot of 7, 8, but I just don't see the production of 11. And his numbers, yards were like 600 and about 60 some receptions. So I believe that he's going to come down a little bit on the touchdowns, which is going to take him out of the top 10. So, and then I threw out a few sleepers there. I got Okonkwo. Okonkwo.
Yeah.
Okonkwo. Number 21 is what the experts have, Matt. I believe he could have a good year. And I got Isaiah Likely, and it's all because of the fact that Andrews, he is getting older.
Okonkwo relies on the same reason as Calvin Ridley. That quarterback is good. He will have a good year.
That's true. And I got Likely at 20, or he was ranked 22 by the experts. I believe he's a sleeper. And my long shot is a name that used to be one of the top ones, Darren Waller. He's down in Miami.
He was in New York for a long time.
Yeah.
And then he became a rapper, and now he's back to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, and he's ranked 35 by the experts. But look what Jonnu Smith did, in Miami. So I believe that he's gonna move up and possibly be close to the top 10. So, okay, so we're going to move on to the defensive kickers. I'm going to go through this rather quickly. And you can, any comments or anything you have along the way. So last year in our league, the number 1 kicker was Aubrey for Dallas. 2 was Boswell. 3 was Dicker. 4 was Fairbairn. And 5 was Sanders. And just outside the top 5 was McLaughlin for Tampa Bay. So the one thing about this I want to point out is both Fairbairn and Boswell both had 13 50 or plus field goals. Fairbairn was hitting them like
he had 27 1 week.
It's crazy. And the reason that's important to us is in our league you get 3 points for field goals 30 and under. You get 4 for in the 40s, and anything over 50 you get 5 points. So that's almost like scoring a touchdown when they hit a 50-yard field goal. So that's why I have Boswell so high. And I got Fairbairn in the top 5 too, or that was, I believe, the big reason they were in the top 5 last year. So the consensus this year, the experts, they think Aubrey's going to be 1 again. Dicker's going to move up to 2. Bates from the Lions, number 3. Lutz, number 4, and McLaughlin, number 5. And just outside the top 5, they got your guy Fairbairn. So, and then I just threw in my top 5. I got Aubrey, Bates, Boswell, Dicker, and I believe McPherson. Nobody's talking about him, but the reason I like him is because that team is going to score points. Cincinnati always scores points. You have a top 5?
Yep, I do. At number 5, I have Bates from the Lions, because as well as McPherson, they're going to score. And number 4, I have Fairbairn because last year. At number 3, I do have Boswell. At number 2, I have Aubrey, and then at number 1, I have Dicker the kicker.
Dicker the kicker. Okay. So let's go over the defenses real quick. Last year in our league, number 1 defense, as in most leagues, was Denver. They led with 63 sacks. In our league, you get 2 points for a sack. So when I look at defenses, I really look at the sacks because that's where you're going to get your bread and butter. You know, if you get 5, 6 sacks a week, you're going to get 10, 12 points right there. So Denver is number 1. Number 2 is Minnesota. Last year, Green Bay was number 3. Houston was number 4, and Baltimore was number 5. And Denver did
You
beat
mean
everybody.
Pittsburgh
They
was
had
number
256 points, and Minnesota was number 2 at 222. So quite a bit of difference there. So,
in your top 5?
well, let me do the consensus. What the experts say, they think Denver's going to stay on top. They got Philadelphia number 2, which I was surprised they weren't in the top 5. I mean, they're loaded all over the
Yeah,
place.
they lost some players. They had a stacked defense last year.
I know
They lost players.
Number 2 was Phil, or people are predicting Philadelphia. Number 3, Pittsburgh. Number 4, Baltimore, and Minnesota drops to number 5. That's the consensus top 5. Now my top 5. You want to go first, or
Sure, I can go first. At number 5, I have my Seattle Seahawks. At number 4, I have the Buffalo Bills. At number 3, I do have Minnesota. At number 2, I do think Pittsburgh will stay. And at number 1, I will take Denver.
you're going with Denver? Okay.
Mhm.
This is the shock. I don't have Denver in my top 5 at all.
Why?
So I just
That's crazy. I don't
am-
think
I'm
Baltimore.
crazy. That's right.
He's
So
crazy.
we'll see where we land. So my number 5 is Pittsburgh. Number 4, I like Seattle too. Nice or good young defense. They've drafted well on the defensive side of the ball the last few years. Number 3, I got Baltimore. Number 2, I got Philadelphia.
Mm.
And I got coming out of nowhere, Green Bay. Now that they signed Micah, you look at sacks. I know it's not an exact science, but the gentleman that they gave up for Micah to Dallas, he had 1 sack last year. Micah had, I believe, 14.
11.
No, I think he had 14.
Okay.
Well, he had significantly more than 1. So even if he gets 10 this year, that's 9 more sacks for the Packers. I believe that's going to vault them into number 1 defense. So, all right. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. So now that ends our fantasy football section, the FF section 1. Now we're going to go into FF section 2, which is
Prediction.
forecasting football. Okay. So now we're going to do some predicting. Okay. What do you want to start? You want to start with this week's games? You want to start with our predictions for the divisions?
Let's start with week 1.
Week 1. Okay. So we'll go back and forth. If you want to talk about it, explain your pick.
Thursday night football.
Thursday night is where we're going to start. So I want to tell everyone we're going to keep track of this, tell you our records next week, and pick every week and just kind of keep track of where
And
we're
see
at.
who does better. It's a competition here.
That's right. So first, it's Thursday night football, which I'm very excited. We're just days away.
Pumped. We're recording this on Tuesday night, so we're almost under 24 hours.
48. See, that's why you're still in school. Okay. All right, so we got Dallas at Philly. Philly's favored by 8.5 points. I got Philly. I just don't see them losing this game. You know what's interesting about this game is we looked at the line early and it was 6 points, and I was like, that's a good bet because I feel Philly's going to win by at least a touchdown. Now it's a little iffy at 8.5, but that's how much the points went up or towards Philly since Micah Parsons left Dallas. So who do you got in that game?
I'm going to take the Eagles as well. Home stadium, coming off the Super Bowl hot. They're going to take that one here.
I get it. I'm totally with you. Okay, Friday night. We got a game.
Friday night
This
football.
is in Sao Paulo. I don't know what country that is. I can look that up. But this is on Friday night. So exciting. We got football Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday. Only up Saturday. What are we going to do Saturday? It's going to be so boring.
Swimming.
Oh, we got college football.
Ew.
Okay, so Friday night, we got the Chiefs at the Chargers. Who's you pick?
I'm going with the Chiefs.
You're going with the Chiefs? I like the Chargers. Actually, the Chiefs are favored by 3 points. I don't know why I like the Chargers here. I just feel like the Chiefs are going to keep going down a little bit. You know, they went 11-6 last year after, being 14 wins, 15 wins. I see them right around that range again this year, and I think the Chargers are going to get them. So that's kind of a upset there. All right, so now let's start with our Sunday games. We got the Giants at the Commanders. Who do you think I'm going to pick there?
I wonder, is
And
there
the
bias
Commanders are
coming
favored
in?
by 6, and I'm going to take the Commanders at home.
I have the Commanders as well.
Okay, next one. Okay,
Yep.
it's the Bengals at the Browns, and the Bengals are favored by 5.5. Who do you got?
I have the Bengals.
You do, and I think this is the year.
They're not going to start slow this year. They're going to cook.
I think they are too. I like the Bengals on that one as well. Next one is Cardinals at the Saints. Who do you got for that one?
The Cardinals at the Saints. I don't like this game at all, but I have the Cardinals.
Okay, and they're favored by 6.5. And I agree. This is, you don't know what you're going to get with either one of these teams. Well, Saints.
Last year, the Saints, for the first 2 games, they dropped 40 plus. I was like, this is the best team ever. And then what happened?
I know. And the Cardinals are the same. They're so, you don't know what you're going to get. But I like the Cardinals as well. Steelers at the Jets. The Steelers are favored by 3. Who do you got there?
I have the Steelers.
I got the Jets.
Why?
Because they're at home. No one's giving him credit. I think Justin Fields is going to have a good game. Is he playing for him now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jets. The old gut thing again. Okay, we got the Bucks at the Falcons, and the Bucks are favored by 2.5. And I like the Bucks. I think they'll eke out that win. The Falcons, they're another one of those teams. I'm not sure what we're going to get with them. They could actually give the Bucks a run on that division, I think, this year. But I'm going to stay with the Bucks at the Falcons.
I'm going to go the Bucks as well.
Okay, next one we got Raiders at the Patriots.
Another game I do not like this week, but I'm going to take the Patriots.
Patriots, they're favored by 2.5, and I'm going to take them too. I think they're going to be well improved. They're going to push for a wild card this year. They and all depending on Drake May.
Yeah.
All right, Dolphins at the Colts, and the Colts are favored by 1.5, and I got the Colts.
Dolphins at the Colts. I'm going to take the Dolphins here.
You are, huh?
Mm-hmm. I think Tyreek Hill is still going to be that Tyreek Hill, and they have a healthy Tua, and they have Waddle. I think the Colts can't do much with Daniel Jones first week, especially with the healthy Tua.
Okay. All right, then we got the Panthers at the Jaguars. You're up.
I have the Jags beating the Panthers.
They're favored by 3.5, and I got the Jags as well. All right, Titans at the Broncos. Broncos are favored by 7.5. I like the Broncos, although I think it's going to be closer than that.
I have the Broncos beating them by a large margin.
You think they're going to?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be closer. I don't know why. I'm not just sold on Denver. Maybe I just don't know football. That's funny. That's a funny joke there. All right, next we got the 49ers at the Seahawks. I wonder who you're picking. You go first.
Well, I'm going to take my Seahawks, obviously. They are not getting respect they deserve this year, and hopefully if we win this week, we will show.
Now, you guys usually struggle against the Niners, don't you?
Oh, yeah. We've only beat them once in the past, 8 years. Or, 4 years.
4 years. Well, I like the Seahawks here, too. Actually, you're getting 2.5. The Niners are favored by 2.5. I don't really understand that line. The 49ers have so many questions with Ayuk out. I mean, CMC, they say he's healthy and all that. And Purdy's a solid to good quarterback.
And on the internet, if the Seahawks do win, everyone's going to be like, 49ers had injuries.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. But I do like Seahawks to upset them, if you want to call it that. All right, Lions at the Packers, and Packers are favored by 2.5. I'm going to take the Packers.
I don't think so. I like the Lions.
Like the Lions here?
Oh, yeah.
That is going to be one of the best games of the weekend.
Oh,
yeah. I think, besides the Sunday Night Football, which we'll get to here in a minute. Okay, so Texans at the Rams. The Rams actually are favored by 2.5.
And I have the Rams.
Well, I've got the Texans.
I'm going to take the Rams here. Okay. I don't know why. It's one of your gut feelings. I'm going to take the Rams, and I hate the Rams.
I'm taking the Texans. Okay, we talked about the Sunday night big matchup.
Game of the week. My game of the week.
And it's a rematch of, well, no, it's not of the semifinals last year, right? The divisional round.
This is my game of the week.
Ravens at the Bills, and the Bills are actually favored by 1.5. Who do you got?
I have the Ravens, actually.
I do too. I think it's the Ravens' year. I think these two are going to be in it till the end.
I agree.
But so this, I believe, is a come right out. I believe it's a preview of the AFC Championship game. And so they're
Monday Night Football isn't very fun in my opinion because we don't know how both of these teams are going to do with their quarterbacks.
and it's the Vikings at the Bears, and the Vikings are favored by 1.5.
And I have the Vikings.
I do too. I think the Bears, are still a work in progress. I think they're going to do a little better this year. I don't think they're going to jump up into contention or anything like that. But I have the Vikings as well. The Vikings, they were what 14-3 last year.
hmm
I don't see that. I believe they're going to come down to earth a little bit, but they're still a respectable team. I expect them to be around 10 wins or so when it's all said and done. So, okay, now we're going to go into what we feel like is going to happen in the big picture. Who's going to win the divisions? Who's our 3 wild cards? And then we're not going to go through each game in the playoffs. We'll pick who we believe is going to be in each championship game, the winner of those games, and then we'll finish the show with our big Super Bowl pick, and we can play it when we get close to the Super Bowl and laugh at each other. I'll laugh at you. Okay. So, okay. All right. So I'll start with the AFC East. I like Buffalo. What do you got?
I have the Bills as well.
Okay. Kind of a no-brainer. Start with an easy one. The North with Baltimore, Pittsburgh.
I have the Ravens.
You got the Ravens?
I have the Ravens
I
there.
do too. So the South with Houston.
I have the Texans.
You got the Texans. I do too. And then the West.
The Chiefs.
You got the Chiefs. So all 4 the same as last year.
I will say, I think the Chargers have a shot at it.
I think so too. I think of all the 4, although I think Jacksonville has a shot at Houston's division too. But the other 2 I think are going to be pretty easy for those 2, Baltimore and Buffalo. So, all right, I did list my 3 wild cards. You got your wild cards?
I do.
Okay, so my wild cards are, I believe, the Bengals. I don't think they're going to come up with that slow start.
I have the Bengals.
I know they have no defense, but they simply can just outscore people.
I have the Bengals as well right away.
I got them, and then I have the Chargers.
I have the Chargers as well.
Okay, and then I have Jacksonville. That's my whoa.
And I have the Broncos.
You got the Broncos. Okay, so you basically have the same teams as last year, except for Pittsburgh instead of Cincinnati.
I think Bengals will be good this year.
Okay, so then you get to the AFC Championship, and I already tipped my hand. I got the Bills and the Ravens.
The Bills and the Ravens?
That's who I got in the AFC Championship.
I have the Bills and the Chiefs. I would love to see that matchup one more time. I want to watch that one more time.
I think it's the Bills and the Ravens. It's funny. The Bills can't get past the Chiefs. The Ravens can't get past the Bills. So, so that's okay. We'll go, and I believe the Ravens are going to represent the AFC.
I think the Bills are going to represent the AFC this year.
Okay. So I believe the Ravens, it's their time. So you believe that the Bills, it's their time against the Chiefs for a change. I believe it's time for the Ravens against the Bills, or to beat the Bills. One thing interesting is that game 1, it's only first week, no big deal, but that could come back and really mean a lot because whoever wins that game between the Ravens and the Bills could be hosting or have home field advantage or hosting the championship game. So believe it or not, there is something on the line there besides just winning the first game. All right, the NFC, you want to start out with the East?
I have the Eagles.
I do too. Philly, I think Washington will push them a little bit, but I don't see it happening.
The North, I have the Lions.
I have the Lions.
The South, I have the Bucks.
I have the Buccaneers in the South.
And in the West, I have the Rams.
I have Seattle. I know. It sounds like I'm the homer here, the Seahawk homer. I got a feeling about Seattle. I think the Rams, when after they won the Super Bowl, they kind of went downhill I just think they got close last year. They actually gave Philly the closest run last year. They were in the game to the end. But I just feel like they're going to have a drop off, and with Stafford's help. So I got Seattle winning that one.
There's people on the internet saying all this about Sam Darnold being trash and it's one good year. But then I seen a person call him overrated. I was like, have you seen what people are saying about him? How can he be overrated and trash at the same time? Just a little news for you.
They say the same thing about me too. I think I'm just wonderful, but I'm probably overrated and trash too. So
All right. Who's
All right.
your wild cards in
I've
NFC?
got Washington.
I have the Commanders as well.
Okay, I think they'll be the top wild card. Well, actually, I have Packers and I got the Rams,
I have the Packers, and then I have the Seahawks.
Seahawks. Okay, so we're basically the same except for the West, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right,
NFC
so
Championship, who do you have?
you go first.
I have the Eagles and the Lions.
Eagles and the Lions. I got the Packers and the Eagles. Believe it or
You
not.
are really buying into this Packers hype, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
I
Holy.
like the old Packers. Yep, you're right.
And I had the Eagles representing.
I do. So now my Super Bowl is the Ravens and the Eagles.
I
Yours
have
is
the Eagles and the Bills.
Eagles. And let's go. Who's your big pick? This is the let's. Do we have a drum roll or something? Do we have a dog
Or
barking?
should we
What can
pick
we do?
it at Super Bowl?
Oh well, no, because it might not be the same two teams. If these two teams are in the Super Bowl, I'm staying with the pick I say today. But the chances of these two, you never know. You know, so let's make our because then we can look back and say, you know what, I knew it from day one. Okay, so what do you got? Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
This is a tough one for me, but I think I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles.
The Eagles? Oh, I hate those birds. All right. I am going with the Ravens. I believe it's the year. And look, Lamar Jackson. I know Josh Allen had a heck of a year last year. I believe that Lamar Jackson won that MVP. I think it should be changed to the Lamar Jackson Award. And I believe that they're going to get it done this year. So I got the Ravens over Philly in the Super Bowl. Very exciting stuff there. So do you want to review what our draft, how we did on our fantasy, or
do you want to do that next week?
we can do that next week? We can definitely do that next week. So we really appreciate you guys. Those of you that stayed to the end, thank you so much. It's our first podcast. We'll get better, but we definitely appreciate you taking the time to listen to us. Now, let's talk. We want them to like and subscribe, right? Is that what you do?
Like and subscribe and leave a comment. If you have any questions, tips, comments, concerns, let us know.
Okay. And we are Double F Podcast. And you're going to send something out to remind the folks about the live stream? Or are you going to?
We might not have one this coming Friday because we're still setting up and working on it, but we will let you know when it's all ready to go.
Okay. So with that, do you have anything else? Well, again, thank you.
Go Hawks.
Thank you for taking the time. And we'll see the Super Bowl with the Commanders in the Super Bowl, winning it, of course. So thank you again, and we'll see you next week.
Adios.